Making Maymay to do my weekly update video. I actually have a lot of stitching to show you this week. And I have no haul, no finishes, but one new start. So this week was a lot slower, I guess. I mean, it was busy, but a good busy. It's the end of the year, so that kind of stuff's wrapping up in school. We had a baseball party, and that was really it as far as, mom stuff. The end of this week, though, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I had a mini retreat. I'm calling it a mini retreat. It really wasn't. Dena at Halfstitch Cross came over, up, whatever, from her house. And she stayed Wednesday night, Thursday night, and some of Friday. And we stitched all weekend, or all Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Connie came over all 3 days. I tried to convince her to spend the night, but she couldn't. Kelly came over one day. We tried to convince her to come over more than one day, but she couldn't. But we had a ton of fun. I think Dena and I stayed up till like 5 o'clock or 4:30 in the morning, Thursday morning. Took a quick nap, woke up, and got the kid ready for school. And then Connie came over. I may have fallen asleep on all of them at some point that day. Anyway, it is what it is. I had a ton of fun. We're definitely doing that again. Next week's going to be kind of hectic. My son has a ton, his whole week is only parties. I don't really even know why we're going because every single day is a different party. Today I'm actually off at Saturday, so yeah, you're seeing me on a Saturday instead of a Friday, but I'm actually off today because my son had 2 birthday parties. I worked Mother's Day to where he could go to 2 birthday parties today. He's got a swimming party that he won't be able to go to. Well, not the swimming part. He's going to go to the party. We're going to give, the gift, and we're going to kind of head back out because he can't swim. And then, well, he can swim. He came home yesterday with an earache. Miss Connie was here. She got to see the drama of my kid. My kid doesn't complain about pain or being sick until he's very, very sick, and then he's out of control. He had not complained about his ear hurting at all. We got to the doctor, and we picked him up, and he was off the chain, so dramatic. We take him to the doctor, and she's like, his eardrum's bulging, and I'm like, he's not complained about it hurting until today. So we actually have to go back in a couple weeks and make sure that it's not perforated. So he let it get pretty good before he started complaining. However, once he started complaining, it was ridiculous. But anyway, so he won't be able to swim at the swimming party. So we're going to kind of drop in, give the gift, maybe have some cake, and then, head back out. And then he's got a party this evening at another friend's house. They're doing a Survivor theme. So I think they're going to make fire without a match and do that kind of stuff. And there's marshmallows, that kind of thing. So he should have a lot of fun with that. So I'm jumping on to do the video now because I won't be able to do it later tonight. But I will, after everybody goes to bed, be on Virtual Stitchers. So you're welcome to join me there if you want to stitch. Anyway, wow. 4 minutes in, and I haven't shown you any cross stitch. So let me jump into that. So this week's assignment in Magical Stitches, I was going to do the Choose My Whip, but then it didn't fit the homework, so I didn't get to do the Choose My Whip. I am doing Letter of Fortune, though, and I've gotten 3 letters. I think I'm waiting on an answer on one of them. But the homework for this week was so we had to upload an album of our whips and number them. We were supposed to list at least 20 was the goal, but you could list as many as you wanted. This week they chose to do, because you had to be 17 to enter the Tri-Wizarding competition in Harry Potter Goblet of Fire, you had to stitch 700 stitches on your number 17 whip. There were other options. You could stitch 350 on number 1 and 7, or I think 1,000 on none. I think that was a third option. Either way, I had a number 17 whip, so I was able to stitch on that, and I stitched the 700 stitches. My, was on Curly Locks, which I just jumped ahead in projects because I worked on Spangled first, so I'll show you that next. Anyway, Curly Locks, or Curly Girl, I don't know what it's really called. is called the real name of this one. Curly Locks is the real name. It is by Silver Creek Samplers. I don't have it. I'll insert a picture here of what it will look like when it's finished. Don't know where my cover page went. And then this is where I was before I started this week. And then this is where I am now. Guys, I was very close to a finish. I've got to finish this top line of words. I think that's all. Yep, this top line of words. And then I got to do the border. And I'll be finished. I'm waiting for the border last just because this is stitched as called for in DMC, except that I changed the girl's clothes because I liked these colors better. And then the border and these O's are done in a DMC variegated, I think it's 40-30, instead of the weak style works that it calls for. There is 700 stitches on that. Now, what I worked on before this, now that I'm out of order, because I forgot about working on Spangled after my video last week, but before the start of next week, if that makes any sense. Like on Friday, Saturday night, or Saturday morning. I worked on Spangled as part of the May-June extra credit. And that was on Spangled. So the reason I worked on this one for the extra credit is it's for the Imperious Curse. So you had to stitch 500 stitches on something that made you lose control, that you saw and just had to stitch. And that is definitely Spangled for me. Show you what this will look like when it's finished, without showing the actual pattern itself. Again, this is on my printer, so the colors are a little weird. But this is what it'll look like when it's finished. This is where I was before, guys. Again, I absolutely, positively love working on this piece. It is one of my favorite pieces. I had to be careful because it is on 36 count, so it has to be kind of the correct lighting, etc., etc. But I do love working on this piece. And this is where I currently am now. I got about 155 stitches in. I stitched some inside the star, and then I started into the actual center of the piece. So I'm really excited about that. This needle minder was given to me by my friend Kelly. I think it came from Erica Sage. It just says Stitching Sisters. And then the flag came from Christina Boyd Retreat. One of the girls there was selling some needle minders. But there that is. And then next, I had a new start once I finished that. Dena was here while I was working on the curly locks, and then I decided to do a new start. This was a Pass the Stash from Connie. It has been passed from, I think I'm the 4th person that's going to get this, and then Dena's going to get it after me, and then I think she's going to do a Pass the Stash. It's one that we're keeping up with how many people stitch it. It is Bent Creek Little Christmas. So I started this project from scratch. Dena and I were going to watch Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire while we worked on this. However, we were both exhausted, so we ended up just going to bed. This is where I'm at currently on it. Just those little letters. Guys, I did not count this stitching because I have no clue how many stitches it is. It's not enough to count. So, in a little while when I tell you my total, that's not including these 30-ish stitches. We'll say 30, I don't know. But there that is. I will hopefully finish this up soon. Right now, I'm working on Dragonfly Fairy, which I'll show you. My next project that I worked on, so that's already 3 projects. So I worked on 4 projects this week. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I'm sorry. I worked on 5 projects this week. I forgot about Anne. So yesterday, when Miss Connie came over, we decided to work on Anne a little bit. And she pulled Anne back out because she decided that I'm almost caught up with her. And I was able to stitch 277 stitches on Anne yesterday. This is what it'll look like when it's finished. I was using this project. This is what it looks like before I started stitching this week. And this is what it looked like before. I've already said that. So, this is what I used for my Ultimate Cross Stitch Challenge for Magical Stitches. So, the year-long challenge, one of the extra credits that lasts a year long. So, you had to stitch 1,000 stitches. I used this one for the books because there are 7 books. So we had to do 1,000 stitches on something that had to do with books. And of course, this is Anna Green Gables, and Anna Green Gables is a book. This is where I currently am. As you can see, I finished out all the bordering squares. So now all I have to do is go in and fill those in. I actually stitched up here at this top part. This is a bed, or gonna be a bed. And then I had finished out this border, and that's it. So that's what I did this week on Anne. So that was another 277 stitches. I'm really loving it now that the border's on there. I don't know, it feels a lot like it's getting closer to being completed. Miss Connie has this stitch. I'm calling them Miss Dena and Miss Connie because I called them that all week because of my son. So ignore all that. Anyway, Connie has to finish out that top piece that I'm working on with the bed in it. And then she has to finish out that center motif. And I have to do all of the outside pieces. That center motif is a lot of stitching though, so. Now for my 5th project of the week. I knew something wasn't adding up because I knew I had 5 pieces. We had a pop-up event last night in Magical Stitches where 100 people had to stitch 50 stitches on something that had to do with the transportation that got the students to the school for the Tri-Wizarding competition. Which was like boat, carriage, broom, legs, and there was another one I don't remember. But I stitched on Dragonfly Fairy because she's got legs. And I will refuse to resist the urge of saying, and she knows how to use them. Or singing. I'll say it. I won't sing it. I won't subject you to the singing. But, so this is what she'll look like when she is finished. This is what she looked like before I stitched on her. Granted, I only got 56 stitches done for that challenge. And then I started using this for my extra credit for May and June again. Because we had to stitch on something that lays eggs. That has something that lays eggs. And dragonflies lay eggs. So, there's where I currently am. So, for the 50 stitches, I stitched to this blue area around the bodice. And then for the 200 stitches that I'll be doing for the extra credit, I'm working on this arm right here. I should be able to finish this up tonight. And then I will probably go back and work on spangled some more. Or either the ornament. I haven't decided yet. Because I can use the ornament for the Christmas ball because it's got the greenery. And you would see greenery at a Christmas ball. So I don't know which one I want to work on. Probably the Christmas ornament. That way I can hurry up and pass it along quicker. there that is. So that is all of my stitching. I did get a Pass the Stash from a lady in Virtual Stitchers. I don't know, and I know she makes videos. I don't know if she wants me to say her name or not, so I'm not going to say it. But she passed along a primitive piece. Oh, why can't the needlework primitive, not the primitive. I don't remember the name of threadwork primitives. It's called Anchor of Liberty or something. Anyway, it's got an anchor and a flag and an alphabet. It's a really pretty piece. It's going to be a little while before I stitch it. And when I showed it to Connie, she said, ooh, I really like that. I want to stitch that soon. So I loaned it to her. I'm going to let her stitch it because she'll get it done before I do. So she's got it now, threadwork primitive. The primitive threadwork. Something like that. Anyway, it's a really cute pattern. I fell in love with it. She gifted it to me, but I forgot to show it to you before Miss Connie absconded with it. But anyway, I'll show you that whenever I get it back. I should get it back soon because Miss Connie's needles are on fire. Or either I will just insert a picture of it here if I can. And I lied. I forgot. I did get some haul. Forgot about the haul that I got. This came from Kate Lantry at No Name Needle Minders. I got some needle minders. So the ones that I got 4. I got this Slytherin piece, or actually I got, 4. I got this Slytherin. Is it not going to focus? Come on now, focus for me. I'm trying to focus on both is the issue. Let's see here. It may be better if I take it off of there we go. This Slytherin one. This little wooden birdhouse, which is cute. And this one. And what this one says is, or perhaps in Slytherin you'll make real friends. You'll make your real friends. Those cunning folk use any means to achieve their ends. And I like that quote because when I got sorted on Pottermore. Get a focus? Come on, focus. There we go. When I got sorted on Pottermore, I am Hufflepuff. But I knew that they needed people in other groups. So whenever they were asking for, people who were willing to stitch in other houses, I volunteered and said that I didn't mind stitching in Slytherin if needed. So then I was placed in Slytherin. I also have another one. I don't know where it is. It's a Lisa Frank. It's the little Lisa Frank seal. It's the same exact. It's just like these, except it's purple, and it's got the Lisa Frank little seal pup on it. And I love Lisa Frank, so I had to get it. But I absolutely love her needle minders at with Kate Lantry. And here comes my son. What, dear?
I'm using my ear medicine.
Yes, you can take your ear medicine.
Where is it?
I'll give it to you in just a second. I gotta get it out of your bottle. Yes, you can say hi. Come here, have a seat. Don't kick it.
Hi.
Say hello. Yeah, he's coming to remind me that he needs medicine for his ear. So, it is time for me to give his ear medicine. So, I guess it's time for me to sign off. So, as always, I will see you hopefully next week. Stop, son. I'll hopefully see you next week. And thank you for watching, subscribing, and liking. As always, take care. Can you say happy stitching?
Happy stitching.
Say it louder.
Happy stitching.
Happy stitching.